See, I had this idea when I first got Hearts of Iron 4 in late 2022, and I enjoyed the game very much. So I wanted to invite my friends over to play Hearts of Iron 4 with me. However, all my friends are all brokies and cannot afford to buy Hoi 4. Also because Hearts of Iron 4 is extremely complicated and hard to master, and my friends would probably be very uninterested and they won't take time out of their day to master Hearts of Iron 4. So I just created a Minecraft server called Hearts of Diamonds and invited my friends and my friends' friends over to join Hearts of Diamond. I tried my best to balance it between Hearts of Iron 4 and Alan the Whiffer's original concept. If you don't know what Alan the Whiffer's not so original concept is, it was the average Minecraft faction server concept, just to claim land and attack whoever. It was so average in fact that if the concept was a person, his name would be Smith. So I added more twists to it to make it seem a little bit like Hearts of Iron 4. More information about these twists in a while. Anyway, without further ado, it is time for the video to start. Hello everyone, welcome to my video, and to those who are subscribed, hello, what's up bro, welcome back to my video. That's what happens when you subscribe. Not only do you show appreciation to the effort I put on my video, but you also get either an insult or an extra greeting at the start of my video. Also, I sometimes live stream the server on Twitch, and you should check out my Twitch at twitch.tv/far67twitch. I haven't really live streamed there in a while, and I plan to live stream there about once a week during summer with my friends. That is, if they aren't inactive. Also, one more thing, the story is more based on the POV of _567_, so there might be some bias, but that's just because I'm the only one who ever recorded. Anyway, so I gathered a few of my friends, and we basically played Minecraft in a similar manner to the game Hearts of Iron 4, which means that one country is just controlled by one player, unless you're talking about co-op. So, we're just gonna have one-man armies per country. The reason is because I don't have enough friends to create even the slightest army for at least 2 countries. Which is why I'm inviting you to join any future servers like this, so I could finally get armies for multiple countries. More about that at the end of the video. So here's how the server would work. Basically, the way to gain territory is by placing banners, which claims 3 chunks of land each. Land claiming is strict because you cannot touch other people's territory unless you're at war with them or they're your allies. Our banners could be any pattern we want if it is possible in vanilla. We are put into a 1500 by 1500 block world, which we can only join 3 hours every Saturdays and Sundays. The very start of the game, each player would be given only one of their banners and 3 villager spawn eggs each. The villager spawn eggs are obviously to spawn villagers, which count as the population of the nation. Originally, the plan for the server is to build up our nations for a few weeks. After that, we prepare for war, and the last few weeks, the war declaration phase will occur. However, due to how unorganized we are, the phase of building up our nations lasted quite longer than usual. Immediately after I created the Discord server, tons of people already started signing up their nations. At the end, here are the list of nations that have been signed up. The tax evasion in Vietnam, led by, well, tax evasion. The Phoenix Empire, led by Blitzboy99, Gulag, led by Harry But Smarter, later known as XCorR1, Paracletus Clan, led by Alan the Whiffer, the Communist Republic of Megamania, led by _567_, Kyongji, led by a Fogsicle, Farmers, led by some guy Rob28, Ethyl Alcohol Supplier, led by Amatal Boy, Vimpkin, led by Leo, Diamond Rain, led by Nathan the Master, the SCSL Commonwealth, led by both Nicoin and Maxim. At October 22, the server finally opened, and the start was a disaster.
No!
Harry!
I don't even have a bag!
Why is Harry
It's a fucking joke!
I win.
Yeah, same.
Okay boys, it's time for the gas. It's time for the gas.
Let me! We're not in the gulag!
Oh my god.
He's suffocating! He's suffocating!
It's time to commit some war crimes.
Oh my god!
Come on, hop in the trenches.
How come you get to break stuff?
I fortunately managed to record that experience and upload it. The link of the video is in the description, or just look for it in my channel. Trust me, it's hilarious. Immediately at the first day, a secret non-aggression alliance between the Paracletus clan and Megamania was formed. Later, an alliance was already formed between Megamania, ethyl alcohol supplier, and the Phoenix Empire, called the Feb Alliance. While Megamania wants to invite the Paracletus clan to the Feb Alliance, the others declined that proposal and instead made fun of the Paracletus clan, which forced the Paracletus clan to find his own alliance.
We're in numbers.
Three
Dude, what do you mean power in numbers? What does the what kind of a difference does it make when both of you are worth less than one person?
After a while, the Paracletus clan had enough of the Feb Alliance making fun of him and decided to form an alliance with Tax Evasion in Vietnam, which was sort of a bad thing for the Feb Alliance since Tax Evasion was a half-decent player.
Oh no!
Whoa, whoa.
Oh no!
Throughout the entirety of the first day, players continued to collect tons of resources by mining underground. They already got iron and diamonds, while both Paracletus clan and Megamania were at the surface working on their bases. The Paracletus clan had claimed land at the stone shore close to the north, while Megamania claimed land at the snowy mountains at the very north of the map. The result of that is both countries were pretty undergeared. After an hour of being separated, the Feb Alliance members finally met at the city of Fargrad, which was now the capital of Megamania.
Hello! Hello! I have
Hello!
diamond helmet. You're poor.
Hello. I'm building a house for the villagers.
The ethyl alcohol supplier claimed land at the stone shore south of Fargrad Mountain. Things have been going pretty well for the other side of the Feb Alliance. The Bijou Alliance, which is the name of the alliance between Tax Evasion in Vietnam and the Paracletus clan, has already won the space race to the Nether and already found a bastion, while the Feb Alliance was just building their village. Unfortunately, the Phoenix Empire died and lost its starting resources. Because of this, the Phoenix Empire and Megamania decided to make a collaboration government at the city of Firegrad. Later on, the ethyl alcohol supplier has built his main base, which is very ugly, and we all made fun of it and called it the matchstick house because the oak logs all around it made it look like a cobblestone box held together by matchstick.
What the hell is this?
It looks like a prison cell.
Exactly, bro.
Did you put this to make it look like it's to make it look like it's not a box?
Yes.
You just gotta appreciate the detail, man.
I know, it's so detailed, bro.
It still looks like a box, but with matchsticks. Matchsticks surrounding it.
There was a big problem regarding food for the Feb Alliance. Since the Feb Alliance decided to stay nearby the snowy mountains, no animals spawned. For a while, they all mostly relied on bread to feed themselves.
We need food, man. I'm on like 3.5.
Take
I'm on
bread.
like 3.5
Peace and
bars.
bread. Peace and bread.
After everyone left for dinner, it was only the Paracletus clan, Megamania, and the Phoenix Empire that are on. They all tried to convince the Paracletus clan to spy for the Feb Alliance.
Hey yo, what if we do this? Alan, what if we make an alliance where you're the one on the other side, but you're actually the one who's collecting information for us?
Why? Ciao. Ciao.
By the way, they did this after they insulted the hell out of Paracletus clan earlier on. No wonder he declined this offer. Somewhere near the mountain of Fargrad, sheep was found, which was very beneficial to the Feb Alliance since the Paracletus clan offered 2 stacks of pork chop to them in return for 3 beds. The offer later on commenced, becoming the very last thing that occurred at the first day of the first week. How eventful this day was.
I can give you 2 stacks of pork chop.
Fine.
2 stacks of pork chop? What?
How much beds? How many beds?
3. Hello.
We've already bred so many. We've already gigugadied so many villagers.
Hey, thanks.
At the start of the second day of the first week, there was immediately a raid. Well, Megamania kinda started it because he killed a pillager on the way to trade with the Paracletus clan.
Oh my god, help me!
A minute left.
Oh shoot, oh shoot! Bro, they're shooting each other. I love these. Voluntary exile. Oh, I got a free crossbow.
Oh my god, I forgot.
All of the Feb Alliance members kept dying, showing how bad the entire Feb Alliance was compared to the enemy Bijou Alliance.
I literally got killed by a Vindicator, bro. This is so difficult.
Bro, both of you are dead! No. Hell no.
Hell no! Oh, it's coming up! No, no!
Bro, help me! I'm distracting. Okay, get your stuff.
After a while, there was only one Ravager left. The Ravager also wasn't aggressive towards the Feb Alliance members, so they just kind of left them there.
Bro, why is the Ravager on the other side?
It's just there!
Hey, can you kill me? Hey. Bro, it's not aggressive anymore. Bro, it's my pet. Pet Ravager.
Later on, the ethyl alcohol supplier did something that will count as one of the worst things ever done in the history of Art of Diamond.
Dude, it's fire stuff. Look.
No, don't touch it.
Yo!
I don't have anything anyway. You can take it. You know what?
Burn
Take it.
I'll
Yeah,
burn
okay.
it.
Okay, take them all.
No.
It has spruce, by the way. It has spruce.
Bro, stop.
Why are you guys fighting?
He burnt it!
Bro, give me back my stuff. Oh my god.
I burned it.
Really? Are you serious?
Yeah!
There, as you could see from that clip, the ethyl alcohol supplier actually burned all of the stuff of Megamania, which also contains about a stack of pork chop. We all named this that one time I'm a tall boy sent underscore 567 underscore back to the prehistoric age. I'm still salty about it, okay? However, on a lighter note, the non-aggressive Ravager became Megamania's pet since it didn't do any damage. Turns out that the Ravager is indeed aggressive, but only towards the salmon in the sea, so his attention is diverted away from the Fed Alliance members.
Kill him.
No, don't kill him. Leave him alone. He's my friend. He's my dog.
Unfortunately, due to the fact that Megamania was extremely weakened and once again starving, progress was very much delayed. Megamania decided to go mining for materials to get himself out of the prehistoric age, but all attempts led to him dying, exposing how bad he truly is. And later on, there was very bad news, because the last pet Ravager, the dog, counted as the last raider. The nearby villagers couldn't take the job, so once again, the ethyl alcohol supplier did something that made everyone hate him again.
Is nobody taking the fletching table I placed out? Nobody's using it. Why? It's because there's still one raider, that's why!
Oh,
It's Bill Ravager!
I need to kill it, dude!
No!
no, don't kill my dog. Don't kill my dog.
Sorry, I have to. It's been done. It's dead.
He killed
Dude,
the
I'm sorry,
Ravager!
I had to kill it.
My dog.
There's a fourth.
You're a monster.
There's a fourth one.
You're a monster.
He had to kill the dog! Since it was live streamed, my only one legitimate viewer was the mourning the loss of the dog. Along with the loss of Megamania's Ravager that he counted as his dog, came his remorse for any pets he had from that point. Overall, this day was pretty uneventful. Nobody was really playing today, except for the Feb Alliance, and later on Gulag joined. Since Gulag was the admin of the Minecraft server, I asked for a stack of pork chop that I'm a tall boy burned to be given back to me, and it worked.
Oh, thank you
No,
very
Fire,
much.
I'm gonna breed your sheep for you. You're welcome.
Okay, I'm gonna give you some pork chop. Here you go. Here's your all your.
What do
Here's
you
all.
mean steal?
Before the second week, the Feb Alliance group chat was created. Immediately, the Alliance members started discussing all their territorial plans. Megamania's territorial ambitions was to get as much of the snowy areas off the map as possible, while the Phoenix Empire also wanted some of the snowy territory. After a few back and forths, the Feb Alliance managed to get this as their final territorial plans. At the very beginning of week 2, Megamania immediately started expanding his territory using banners from the wool from his sheep. That day, the server was pretty dead. Not only was everyone's internet suffering, but nobody was really on around this time, except for some Feb Alliance members. The reason for this is a massive storm hitting our country, cutting off electricity or internet access of tons of people. At that day, the Megaminian population started increasing,
Wait! Finally, let's go!
becoming one of the most populated countries in the entire server. Because of that, Megamania had to start building houses for the villagers and finally give them jobs.
Is this your house?
This is not my house, this is a restaurant.
And in this very day, the Feb Alliance made the biggest mistake that will end up affecting them badly in the future.
Harry, we have too much people in our alliance. Our alliance consists of half of the people ever in this server.
Harry wanted to get into the Feb Alliance, but the Feb Alliance members wanted to balance the server out, so they declined the offer of Harry to join the Alliance, and instead later on added the coin as a member of the Feb Alliance.
Okay, Huni, wanna join our alliance?
However, the Feb Alliance sort of kept good relations with the Harry. What a huge mistake they made. The next day, literally nobody joined, so I just didn't get on the server because it would have been boring without people. The reason why nobody joined was because of many factors. However, a big contributing factor was everyone was still busy recovering from the huge storm that happened before week 2. The third week was a roller coaster. At the first day, the Feb Alliance was just messing around with their Skins Restorer plugin, pretending to be Walter White, and having a lot of fun in general.
Me! Yo guys! Hey you! Why are you copying me? Why are you copying me?
And in a while, the server got sort of corrupted.
Are you okay in the head right now? What? I disconnected. What? Bro, I'm back at spawn. Why is everything reset? We have our bases, but like our stuff. You know where our stuff went? It's not there.
Harry had to restart the server, and when they got back on, all their inventories were reset, but not their builds. Since there were no world downloads or backups, they had to manually get their stuff back from creative, which took them half an hour because they messed around a little too much. After that got settled, the entire day was just them messing around. Harry became the god of the server.
Okay, use your godly skills to please remove all these.
He gives them harmful substances that you should not be taking, the one that was used in Breaking Bad.
Oh, thanks for the sugar. What? Bro. What? Someone's following me. Help me! I'm getting stuck. Die! We're trading carrots. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Thank you. What do you want in return?
The Phoenix Empire was also tasked with writing the Bible, for he is the prophet of Harry. Later on, Harry basically gifted Megamania a son for drinking a bucket of... You should check for yourself.
Oh, alright, thank you. I have drank it and, Oh no! It's Harry! It's Harry!
Of course, like the Asian he was, he treated his son like how an Asian parent would.
Bro, stop it! Dude, stop it! Dude, stop it!
What? I will slap him with chicken because he has disobeyed me multiple times.
I killed him! You don't have a son anymore. Dead body, that's what he is.
A dead body of disappointment.
This video would last longer if I include more clips of that, so let me know if you want me to upload a separate video on it. The last thing that happened on that day was Megamania getting the full diamond armor trade.
You're Oh my god, guys, I'm full! Look at me! Look at my full! Full! I am immortal! Okay. Okay, we have finished it, and now it's time to upgrade our infantry weapons. We need guns.
The Feb Alliance was finally the most advanced players in the game, having the ability to mass produce diamond armor. At the second day, the Phoenix Empire finally managed to claim the entirety of his part of the Snowy Mountain.
Oh yeah, I've actually claimed a lot of land.
I have not claimed land because I was trying to improve my infantry weapons.
While Megamania traversed through the powdered snow of his mountain, constantly falling into it just so that he can claim that land and finally own the entire mountain of Firegrad.
Why is there so much powdered snow here? Help me, I am just sinking down. This is part of my territory.
Help me!
No, I sunk down the ground into a puddle of zombies. And like an emerald just exposed. But like, I'm sinking under the...
Megamania also started grinding and cutting down trees to improve his economy. He also started building a toolsmith workshop so that he can finally get a toolsmith villager to get diamond tools. The SCS, the nickname of the seaside cat surgeons, known in-game as the Nicoin, has already established a base made of amethyst somewhere around this area, directly across the territory of the Paracleus clan. However, it was not claimed with a flag and was later abandoned. At the beginning of week 4, Gulag was now extremely stacked. He had full enchanted diamond armor, and while he was going mining under Firegrad Mountain, he found the deep dark and died from a warden. Later, he asked Megamania for assistance in trying to retrieve his stuff from the deep dark, and Megamania, wanting to strengthen relation to his Gulag, decided to help him retrieve his stuff.
Oh,
There's
hey,
a warden
export.
under our base, by the way.
Well, how? Why? Okay.
However, Megamania immediately jumped off and died.
Who went there?
Anyways, I need to go back to base because I am
Again and again. Finally, Megamania managed to retrieve his own stuff. And then, as he was helping Gulag retrieve his stuff, the warden spawned.
Oh no! I have alerted the warden! I'm gonna run away!
Now Gulag, who has console access, got so angry to the point where he activated the first nuke of the server with the use of console.
What? What? Hey! There's a nuke! Ah,
What?
bro, Harry caused a giant crater.
Where?
This thing is insane!
Once again, he detonated another nuke. This time it was bigger, containing over 6,000 TNT.
Boy,
I
can escape this fucking
Bitcoin.
I can escape like
Here it goes, guys! Here it goes! Get in!
No! Okay, this is our shield.
Oh
my god.
Oh my god!
Chill. Oh no! Oh no! I'm going out. I wanna see this
I'm going
outside.
out, I wanna see this. Hey, let us out!
Later, the third nuke was detonated. This time it was so big that it crashed other people's PCs, and it crashed the server itself.
Leave. Leave. Go back.
Oh my god.
I'm lagging. Help me, my FPS. No. Be my meat shield, everyone. Please be my meat shield.
Oh fuck.
I became a meat shield and I died.
Ah! It's attacking me. I'm lagging so hard. The server's lagging. Everything is
fuck.
lagging. My
Bro,
puberty is
I'm
lagging.
Oh,
I crashed. I crashed.
TP.
Oh no, why am I here? Oh no, I'm dead.
Oh,
Where did my stuff go? My Minecraft crash. I think my Minecraft's dead.
No. The nuke. I must not
Guys.
die.
why did you need this?
What have you done?
What was it for?
Oh my goodness. What have you
No,
done?
I'm not gonna die.
Minecraft
I can
crashed.
survive.
My Minecraft's dead.
Stop nuking.
so much space.
Oh my god, diamonds. I'm gonna mine the diamonds.
I'm alive.
Give me the diamonds. I found
My
diamonds.
Minecraft crashed!
PC issue.
Hello, Nicole. We are alive.
I
Let's
was
go.
muted this whole time. I was screaming
Thank
at
you.
Ari. What the frick?
Hey.
My Minecraft stopped working!
Same.
My Minecraft is still
Farmer
working, bro.
lives. They're over there. Oh no. What are we to do?
No, it's my diamonds. Until
Bro, I hate
Report
this.
me.
What have you done?
I'm only communist to my villagers, not to anyone else.
What? Your communism?
What?
My Minecraft is no longer responding. I have lost my good PC.
Progress-wise, nothing much really happened at the server. Nathan the Master, who is the Diamond Rain, Maxim, who is Lauderland, and Leo, who is Vimkin, joined for the first time, and the server was at its peak amount of players. The Phoenix Empire also managed to acquire a Power 5 bow.
No. Check this out. I
Why
got
are there so
something
many
really cool.
golems? There's so many golems.
Check
Oh,
this out. Wait,
free
no.
thing. Back at my
No,
ender
give
chest.
it back! Give it back! No!
And Megumenia also managed to fully claim the other mountain beside Fargrad called the Megumenian Urals. Clearly based off of the Russian Urals, because it kind of looks like the Russian Ural. Leo managed to claim one banner worth of land somewhere near spawn, where he built a tiny glass house with a chicken farm beside it. The Paracletes clan also managed to claim a few more chunks south of his land and build a tiny castle thing in the dark oak biome directly beside the stone shores. And finally, at that day, the SCS, with the help of Flutterland, moved from the Amethyst Cave to the Metropolis Islands. Together they formed the Commonwealth called the Seaside Cat Surgeons Flutterland Commonwealth, also known as the SCSL Commonwealth. This day is probably one of the most eventful in Hearts of Diamond, since it had the most amount of players in the server at once.
I know.
Bro, my house is not a wall of banners. Yeah, guys, look at the.
On the second day of the fourth week, I do not exactly know what happened. I livestreamed that day on Twitch but forgot to download the button for recording. Yeah, well, I'm quite a forgetful person. I can't do anything about that. However, I looked through the chat history and pieced together what basically happened. The player count that day was less than or equal to yesterday. At the very start of the day, Megaminia was already working on a secret underground lair to hide his valuable items and valuable villagers that he's about to produce. And he planned to make it where absolutely nobody suspected him to make it. Directly under the villager breathing area. And as Megaminia was finishing his build, and the Fab Alliance was mining cobblestone, the server crashed. Everyone flooded to the Discord server to ask what the hell happened. And terrible news, the server got corrupted. There were suddenly some missing files, and that meant that all their progress was basically decimated. Or so they thought. After a while, Gulag couldn't find a fix, but he did find a backup from yesterday. And the day continued totally fine. Although they lost all their progress from that day, it was still better than a full reset. Anyway, Megumina decided not to rebuild a secret base for now and worked on other necessities for the rest of the day. For the others, they also started working on getting back their lost progress. This was the very reason why Hearts of Diamonds left Phalanx nodes because of how unreliable it was. After this day, they went looking for more free server hosts that are more reliable than Phalanx nodes. On the first day of the 5th week, we got a handful of new players that joined. We got Vitamin Zinc, Real Vibe Only, and a few others. However, only Vitamin Zinc and Real Vibe Only joined that day. A few days before this day, the Feb Alliance has started their plans to build a giant mob grinder in the territory of the ethyl alcohol supplier. Very quickly, the Phoenix Empire started to test out different mob grinder designs on single player worlds. And when the server started, he immediately started to build a mob grinder, using the cobblestone that they had stockpiled from their cobblestone generator. And while the Phoenix Empire worked on their mob grinder, Megumanius decided to start building a railroad from Fargrad to the Urals, with plans to later expand the railroad down to the World Trade Center. And for those of you wondering why the capital of the ethyl alcohol supplier is called the World Trade Center, it is not because we're trying to make fun of that one event. No, we aren't. We simply called it the World Trade Center because everyone from all over the server keeps going to the World Trade Center to trade with ethyl alcohol's villagers and use all of his resources.
Why is everybody going to my villager place to trade? This is my place. Get your own villagers.
It would be fine if they were faction members, but all of these guys were non-faction members. So they basically broke the rules, but no one's enforcing it. After Megumania built a 1-block wide bridge all the way to the Urals, he built a few empty houses there with his plan of transporting 2 villagers there to repopulate the area. He planned to scatter his villager population everywhere because earlier, he realized that the villager population that he freed all died because of zombie attacks. So he wanted to move his villagers to other places just in case one area loses all of its population. He has another backup area. Megumanius then stupidly tries to catch a villager from Fargrad and transport it to the Urals, when his railroad wasn't even complete.
Check it out, boys. Ayo, ayo, ayo. It's going so fast. I'm not even capping.
You got a what?
A button of my card.
And it's moving. It's still moving. Stop moving. Oh my god, my villager died.
Oh my god, he's so stupid. Anyway, directly after that, he stopped being stupid and started finishing his railroad. And of course, since the railroad needs dozens and dozens of iron, he had to drain his stockpile of iron, and he still needed more iron. However, he didn't continue building his railroad for now because he was about to execute Operation -576. What is Operation -576, you may ask? Well, on the surface, we made it look like it's just an operation to repopulate Megumania once again. However, it was really just building the secret underground base. He constantly stayed alert, hiding whenever someone visits Firegrad just not to blow the entire operation.
Oh god, X-Course here. I must hide the evidence of tampering. Tampering, no way, exposed. I'm a villager. Yo!
And as for the others, the Phoenix Empire continued to build the mob grinder, while ethyl alcohol continued to excavate his area and increase the productivity of his villagers in his matchstick house. Also, they bashed the Filipino language translation of Minecraft this day. Here's some clips of it.
Bro. Look what crafting is. Gawain. Diamond sword is espadang brillante. What does that mean?
Brilliant! It means brilliant sword, bro. It means brilliant sword.
Biyak na ba to? Lumangoy si Nathan the Master sa kumukulong putik.
Bro, so basically hot earth.
Harry gave the access to turn on the server only to Nicole, who never turned on the server on the second day of week 5. Turns out she was doing other things, so the schedule was instead moved to week 6, day 1, which is Monday. Quick announcement before the video continues. As you know, I'm a pretty stupid moron, so I got a little too confident that I would remember these events with full photographic memory. I thought I didn't need to record to document Hearts of Diamonds. However, I was wrong. I don't actually know what happened majority of the time. This is because I have bad memory and can't remember stuff half the time. So, the following information will come from the group chats we talked in and our private messages. At the first day of the 6th week, Afogsuko joined the server for the first time under the banner of Kyongji. Also that day, Megumina realized that his villagers were also dying because of the powdered snow surrounding Fargrad from the north. So Megumina had plans to build walls around Fargrad so he can finally freeze villagers without them getting wiped out by the zombies and the powdered snow. And in order to do that, he needs dozens and dozens of stacks of cobblestone. So he spent quite a lot of time at the World Trade Center mining at ethyl alcohol supplier's cobblestone generator. And later that day, while Megumina was building his wall, him and the other Feb Alliance members decided to invite Kyongji into their alliance to compete with the growing numbers of the Beiju Alliance. The Phoenix Empire continued to build a mob grinder while ethyl alcohol supplier continued to excavate this area, and later claimed more land as the surrounding stone shores, forming a sort of Roman Empire looking borders. And nearby his borders, Kyongji settled down there and started the construction on a house. After Megumina finished building his wall, he immediately went on to claim more land at the province of Sagashi and the North Ural Plains. And for the villagers of Megumina, he kept borrowing potatoes from the ethyl alcohol supplier to continuously breed both the surface villagers and the Operation -576 villagers. Megumina also finally finished his railroad from Fargrad to the Urals with the help of the resources from ethyl alcohol supplier, who gave him the iron that he got from mining and killing iron golems. For the other side, Harry decided to start construction of his giant gulag wall, stretching for very long distances. He planned this to be a collaborative base for everyone in the Beiju Alliance and a home for his allies that have not claimed land, which is a direct violation to the rules of Hearts of Diamonds because you can't play without claiming any land. November 22, 2022, another missing files event happened, except this time it wasn't Phalix nodes being extremely unreliable, it was actually intentional. The server had been hacked. I lack specific screenshots of the damage since the screenshots were shortly deleted, but the hot spawn was devastated. It was like an anarchy server. Remember Vitamin Zinc and Real Vibe Only? Them and a few other people were associated with the hacking. It turned out that Vitamin Zinc and Real Vibe Only were innocent and just got caught in the crossfire. But this was only confirmed a few weeks later. The server was at that point basically in shambles since Harry had no backup of the server and all the files were wiped. Was all their progress gone? Nope, obviously not. Then I wouldn't be making this video. Harry immediately found a backup from the day before yesterday, but still, apologies for those who got caught in the crossfire. I was just trying to run a server without a jerk taking away all our progress. Now, since all our progress was reset back to Saturday, Harry gave us permission to rebuild all our builds from creative, so we were able to rest easy. And with that, we also moved into a more reliable server host, so none of these things would happen again. Each member of Hearts of Diamonds vowed to never add any more players to the server because it would complicate things even further. And because of this event, Hearts of Diamonds got even stricter. adding the password and more security plugins. And Harry started making backups almost every day from that point on. This is the point of no organization. Around this time, both the Feb Alliance and the Bijou Alliance members just turned on the server whenever they wished. So I might miss some days, but those days are probably minor days. At the second day of the 6th week, the server was turned on by Harry so that Tax Evasion and Nathan could grind. Although Tax Evasion was the first one to ever find a Bastion at the very first day of Pod, he never really joined again until this day, because he can't play during the weekends. Him and Nathan started building up their industry and going material collecting. He also helped Harry continue the construction of the giant wall of Gulag. And while Nathan was trying to start a raid and gather resources from it, he ended up starting a raid at the wrong coordinates. He started it at Firegrad, which further increased tensions between both sides. The lucky part was that the area was walled up and the villager deaths were minimized. Later, Nathan was temporarily banned for committing this war crime. At the third day of the 6th week, the Megamania proposed Operation Rise from the Ashes, in which 2 nukes will be dropped in the territories of the Paracletus clan and the Gulag Wall. By the Phoenix Empire. The nuke will be dozens of TNT on minecarts stacked onto one rail, creating a huge explosion on impact. They considered this decision and turned it down later due to the lack of time and the amount of resources they needed for it. Megamania decided to start his construction on the railroad expansion from Firegrad to the World Trade Center. He then started gathering resources to make the Operation -576 villagers start producing better resources and prepared to move all of ethyl alcohol suppliers' good villagers over to the Operation -576, which the enemy still isn't aware of. The 4th day of the 6th week, tensions between the Feb Alliance and the Bijou Alliance were increasing. Megamania began to transport all of ethyl alcohol suppliers' good villagers over to Operation -576 because the Feb Alliance was already getting extremely suspicious of the enemy Bijou Alliance using their mob grinder, their villager trades, and their enchantment tables, which is illegal but no one's enforcing it so they can slide. Ethyl alcohol supplier also managed to expand its territory to the rest of the surrounding stone shores of the south of World Trade Center, while at the same time excavating his area to make more space for his planned animal farm. The Phoenix Empire also managed to claim all of his proposed territories, namely the outskirts in the West Valley, taking out territorial claiming out of his list of worries. Around this time, the mob grinder was also slightly improved, since the old design used ladders. Feb Alliance managed to make a water elevator going up the mob grinder to reduce the time it takes to climb the mob grinder. The 5th day of the 6th week, tensions between the Bijou Alliance and the Feb Alliance were going over the boiling point. Today, Gulag was just using cheats to mess around and have fun with his teammates, giving them lots of impossible weapons, like ones with sharpness 200 and crap like that. And the Phoenix Empire, worried that they might use these weapons during War Week, managed to steal one of these weapons from Tax Evasion, making the Bijou Alliance angrier at the Feb Alliance. Megamania also managed to claim the rest of the Sagashi Plains, strengthening his title of being the biggest nation of Hearts of Diamonds. Megamania began to pump out great enchants and great gear, but he hid them all in his ender chest and just used garbage recycled gear to trick the Bijou Alliance into thinking that he was undergeared and unprepared. This tactic worked for a while because the Bijou Alliance saw Megamania as such an easy enemy to destroy and just diverted their attention to more difficult enemies since the Bijou Alliance was strong and wanted a stronger enemy. The Phoenix Empire also started construction on his one and only house in Suntopia. . first day of the 7th week, the Phoenix Empire had begun to prepare dozens of full-power rockets for War Week. He managed to collect hundreds of sugarcane with ethyl alcohol suppliers' tiny farm and hundreds of gunpowder from the Mog Grinder. The Phoenix Empire also requested Megamania to make him a quick charge and multi-shot enchant villagers on Operation -576, which was now already filled with very powerful villager trades. At this point, he had now Thorns 3, Protection 4, Unbreaking 3, and Mending, the only enchants they needed for good armor sets. Megamania also had an Armorsmith villager, which helped Megamania's capability of mass-producing the most powerful armor in the server. And of course, Megamania's biggest source of emeralds were wood. So he had to spend quite a lot of time cutting down trees and earning more emeralds so that he could afford to buy more armor and armor enchants. Then on that day, he started construction on the railroad extension from Fargrad all the way to Suntopia. This build was gonna take a while to build since Suntopia was a few hundred blocks away from Fargrad, but with the help of the dozens of stacks of cobblestone that ethyl alcohol supplier stockpiled because of his non-stop excavation, Megamania finally had enough resources to build the giant railroad. This railroad will significantly shorten their travel time to each other's bases and make each other's bases more accessible to each other. On the second day of the 7th week, Megamania was struggling to join. His internet was struggling very hard and he couldn't really join that day. However, the ethyl alcohol supplier built his animal farm in his excavated area, which he immediately populated with sheep and pigs since he had so many carrots and wheat stockpiled from the farm he built since the first few weeks. Aside from that, ethyl alcohol supplier did nothing all day except breed his animals in his animal farm and continue excavating his area, which is like what he did in Hearts of Diamonds 90% of the time. He just kept excavating his area non-stop. And for the other side, the Bijou Alliance, the Diamond Rain managed to finish building a zombie mob grinder using a zombie mob spawner. This helped him get experience and other resources to help him in the war. They also started plans to build a secret storage area at the Gulag Wall which will contain their most overpowered weapons and armor. They then discussed their war plans against the Feb Alliance. They planned for one set of Protection 4 and Mending Diamond gear for each one of their members, experienced bottles to heal their armor, dozens of different potions, and cobwebs to trap their enemy. Another plan for them was to build a secret Ender Pearl stasis chamber. They felt more powerful than ever, having the best players in the server on their team and having lots of war plans prepared. At the third day of the 7th week, Megamania began to commence Operation Spruce. Now what is Operation Spruce, you may ask? Well, it is the operation where Megamania tames 2 wolves and keep breeding them until he gets more than 100 dogs. Since Megamania knew that he couldn't win a fight against Gulag even with his superior armor and weapons, he instead used power in numbers and different tactics. So at the very beginning of the day, Megamania started looking for wolves to tame. After endlessly looking for them, he finally found 3 wolves, which he immediately tamed and brought over to his secret spot. For his secret spot, he just used his old Armorsmith area, which was abandoned long ago since the Armorsmith villager was murdered by a zombie attack, and Megamania didn't want to spawn in another Armorsmith villager and expose his diamond armor trade for his enemy to use. He only managed to get 5 or 6 dogs that day, since the breeding had a cooldown for dogs. He titled these groups of dogs Infantry Divisions, which he planned to contain 50 dogs each. The Phoenix Empire also asked Megamania for help in finding more blaze rods to finally be able to craft full power rockets for War Week. And after taking so long to find a fortress, Gulag decided to help them out and send them nether portal cords using console commands. And for the Bijou Alliance, they began to cook up lots of potions. They cooked up healing potions, invisibility potions, weakness potions, and more. They also collected stacks and stacks of ender pearls, which the ethyl alcohol supplier silently stole a few stacks of, in retaliation to the Bijou Alliance utilizing his villagers and resources. Taxivation also tried to follow the Feb Alliance to the nether fortress to collect wither skeleton skulls to make beacons to boost the progress of the Bijou Alliance. However, he couldn't reach the fortress in time before the server got closed, and it was already too late. Tuesday of the 8th week, the server was secretly opened by the Feb Alliance without the knowledge of the Bijou Alliance. With the help of the mob grinder's rotten flesh, Megamania kept continuously breeding his dogs until he finally completed one of his infantry divisions containing a little over 50 dogs. He also had a genius idea for his overpowered armor. See, his armor contains protection 4, thorns 3, unbreaking 3, but not mending. Why? Because for one, it is cheaper to mass produce without mending, and the second and most important reason is that Megamania knows that he is not very good at 1.9 PvP and might die multiple times. And since the enemy can steal his stuff, he doesn't want them to use his own overpowered armor against him. If he had mending, then the enemy can just repair it with XP. However, if it doesn't have mending, it would be practically useless for the enemy since the durability is basically close to 0. So he basically used a sort of scorched earth tactics with his own armor. And for the ethyl alcohol supplier, he continued to excavate this area, which he doesn't need to because he needed to prepare for war. But he still wanted to continue excavating this area for absolutely no damn reason. And for the Phoenix Empire, he would usually be seen in the mob grinder constantly grinding for XP or collecting resources for the construction of his house in Zontopia. Megamania would also sometimes join the Phoenix Empire in the mob grinder so that he could afford to put enchants on the diamond armor and gear. On the second day of the 8th week, Megamania immediately went back into continuously breeding his dogs. He was fully focused on breeding his dogs, and at this point, he had almost 50 or more dogs in his 1st Infantry Division. He then dug out another chamber right behind his 1st Infantry Division area to make room for the 2nd Infantry Division, which I took a few dogs from the 1st Infantry Division to keep breeding them there. His army was growing, but as his army was growing, his frames weren't happy. However, he had probably one of the best and most enduring PCs in the server, shown from the nuclear explosion, as he was the last one to ever crash. The ethyl alcohol supplier also fully claimed the rest of mainland World Trade Center, which he had left unclaimed for a while now. And another stupid thing that both ethyl alcohol supplier and the Phoenix Empire were doing is that they kept using the enchantment table. See, Megamania almost never uses the enchantment tables because he has villagers. Enchantment tables are basically gambling and finding your preferred enchants. It's gonna be very hard. But with villagers, he just has to keep re-rolling it until it gives him an enchant that he likes, and he can keep getting it permanently. However, the only downside is that he needs to spend more time at the mob grinder because it required more XP to apply enchantment books to gear. Whenever he would add more enchants to his armor, he would climb up to the mob grinder and stay there for a while until he got enough XP to enchant his gear. And while the other Feb Alliance members were spending their time doing that, the SCSL Commonwealth was focused on building a farm on their new claimed area called Kitty's Land. Kitty's Land is mainly under Seaside Cat search and control since Slaughterland mainly stays in Cantropolis and rarely visits the Kitty's Land due to how far it is. Anyway, the SCSL Commonwealth would continue to build in this area, building a tower, building a farm, and building more structures in it. Around this time, Kyungji also never joined ever since the first day she joined. So she permanently left the Feb Alliance and became a neutral state. She also never planned on joining again, and because of that, her place became a weapons testing facility and a constant target of Gulag shenanigans. So far, Megamania's trick of wearing garbage armor worked because Gulag actually felt bad for him and gave him a full set of unenchanted diamond armor, which Megamania gladly took and didn't enchant because he thought it would have been a waste of XP. Megamania, who was in need of gold and adventure, decided to follow the Phoenix Empire to the Nether, who was in need of blaze rods and more resources. Megamania thought that mining gold in the Nether was too difficult for him, so he did the stupid thing of making a tiny zombified piglin farm, which worked, but he almost died a few times because of how stupid and lazy this idea was. On week 9, day 2, Megamania had only one thing in mind, to get the 2nd Infantry Division to 50 dogs, and so he did. This day, he kept breeding his dogs over and over until he got them to 50 or more dogs. And during the breeding cooldowns, Megamania would just go to the mob grinder for more experience since he really needed them to enchant his diamond armor sets that he was mass producing, and he would also snatch some rotten flesh from there. Although the mob grinder was working and gives experience, it takes a while for the mobs to spawn. So they would just AFK in the mob grinder before they would actually start to get XP. And for the ethyl alcohol supplier, he was on a mission to steal some stuff from the enemy Visual Alliance. Although it was illegal to steal stuff from the enemy, it was still fair since the enemy also uses his resources in the World Trade Center without permission from him, by the way, and often just steals his stuff. This time, ethyl alcohol supplier managed to sneak in the Gulag wall and steal a few stacks of ender pearls. And for the enemy Visual Alliance, Gulag was scouting the World Trade Center for weak points and areas, while farmers managed to cure an armorer villager enough times to the point where he's trading 12 emeralds for one whole set? God damn! I didn't even know it could reach that low. I should have tried villager curing in a hog. Anyway, the Diamond Rain and Tax Evasion found pillagers and decided to start a raid on the Pericles capital, the Under. Although Tax Evasion died once, they managed to successfully win the raid and not only get totems, but also get Hero of the Village. Also, Tax Evasion coincidentally used the same strategy as Megamania and made a dog army of his own. The only difference is he was planning to do it on a smaller scale of no more than 30 dogs. On the third day of the 9th week, the ethyl alcohol supplier found a few pillagers and then started a raid on his own matchstick house, which he had just recently fortified. We actually won the raid and got 3 totems of undying. Otherwise, nothing much really happened for the ethyl alcohol supplier that day. He went to go mining and later returned to the surface to once again do some excavation on this area. While he was doing that, Tax Evasion has managed to breed his dogs enough times to make his own infantry division that contains 30 dogs. While Tax Evasion was breeding his dogs and going to the nether for gold to craft themselves stacks of golden apples, the Diamond Rain finished building the stasis chamber that they had planned. It was over for the Feb Alliance. None of them expected such preparedness from the Bijou Alliance. On the 4th day of the 9th week, Megamania wanted enchanted book trades from his villagers, so he continuously re-rolled his villagers until they gave him good enchants, and he managed to get a sharpness 5 enchanted book, which means that he was not only ready to mass produce armor, but also mass produce weapons. However, despite Megamania being a massive industrial powerhouse, he still couldn't compete with the efficiency of the industry of the Visual Alliance, which was now pumping tons of good trades from the villager curing that they had been doing. After he got a Sharpness 5 enchanted book, he continued to breed his dogs and work on a 3rd infantry division, which would also contain the same number of dogs as the last 2 infantry divisions that he had. The number of dogs he had was so much that his PC would start lagging looking at the general direction of where these infantry divisions were located. Now, while Megamania was grinding for sticks and expanding his infantry divisions, his allies never joined. However, the enemy Visual Alliance was on grinding. The Diamond Rain's main goal was to brew as much potions as he could, managing to fully produce 2 double chests worth of potions. They were basically as prepared as they could possibly be, so they just spent their time messing around and having fun in general instead of grinding like what the Feb Alliance was doing. For the next week, let me just introduce you to the sponsor of today's video, the Hearts of Diamonds War Rules. Firstly, a war declaration is very important since you cannot attack a neutral country that you haven't declared war on or hasn't declared war on you. Second, each participant in the war has only 3 lives. Third, 1 totem pop counts as a life, however it's just a perk to keep your stuff. Fourth, because of the 3 life system, it is not allowed to spawn trap or spawn camp people to make it fair. Fifth, you are not allowed to combat log. Yeah, that one's pretty obvious. Sixth, netherite axes and armor are not allowed, but netherite swords and other tools are allowed. Seventh, any potions that give effects with 2 at the end are banned. So no strength 2, no speed 2, or jump boost 2 potions. Weakness potions and arrows are also not allowed, and harming arrows are not allowed. Last and most importantly, you are not allowed to kill an enemy's pet unless being attacked by them. Today was week 10. It was the first day after the Hearts of Diamonds Christmas and New Year's break. It was January the 7th, 2023, one day after Fire 67's birthday. So early in the morning, Ethyl Alcohol Supplier turned on the server secretly, and he had plans to build an iron farm. He decided to build it in Firegrad, not too far away from the World Trade Center, and not too close to it. This iron farm would greatly help them, but it would take quite a lot of materials to build. He would also borrow Megamania's villagers, which he allowed Ethyl Alcohol Supplier to use for the iron farm. This is literally a human rights violation, but oh well, who cares? On the second day of the 10th week, Megamania had plans to move a few of his infantry divisions to the Urals because he knew that keeping all of them in one place would be a stupid idea, since if the enemy finds one infantry division, they'd be able to kill all the other infantry divisions, especially since the infantry divisions are dangerously close to the World Trade Center, which the enemy often visits. So he immediately chose one of the houses he made in the Urals and made a secret area there, where he planned a few of his infantry divisions to stay in. He dug out a hole under one of these houses, and after setting it up and adding a simple water elevator, he went over to the chamber of the 3rd Infantry Division and took with him majority of the 3rd Infantry Division that he had so far, which was about 30 plus. He left only about 4 wolves and took the rest with him to move to the Urals. And for that, he had to use his 1-block wide railroad to the Urals, which was not a good idea since his 30 wolves kept pushing each other off the railroad and dying. So, Megamania had to go on foot through the North Ural Plains. Only the Diamond Rain was online today, and he saw the chat messages of the dogs dying. He didn't really suspect much from this, and Megamania played it off and pretended he had nothing to do with it. When he put the dogs in the Urals, he has noticed that he has lost more or less than 10 dogs. So he kept breeding his dogs until he got around 35 dogs. He named these dogs his 4th Infantry Division. For the Ethyl Alcohol Supplier, he had just finished building his iron farm and it was working very well. For the Phoenix Empire, he was just going around and collecting resources to finish his house in Suntopia, which he wanted to finish before War Week happens. The Phoenix Empire would also often travel to the Nether in order to collect gold to craft as much golden apples as he can. For the Diamond Rain, he was spending his time brewing potions for his whole team. On the first day of the 11th week, the Feb Alliances got their hands on important intel on the enemy. Gulag is not good at axe PvP. So, Megamania came up with a plan to mass produce diamond axes with sharpness 5 enchantments. He immediately grinded for stacks of emeralds to buy more diamond axes and sharpness 5 books from his villagers, since he wanted to abuse every single weakness that the enemy had. He would also spend lots of time in the mob grinder to get XP, since he needed lots of them if he wanted to continue enchanting his axe with sharpness 5. He would also breed both his 3rd and 4th Infantry Divisions until the 4th Infantry Division was almost complete. While he was doing that, the Ethyl Alcohol Supplier was brewing potions in preparation for War Week. He was finally diverting his attention from just continuous excavation to finally war preparation. War Week creeps closer. War Week was only about a week away, and the Feb Alliance was desperate. They were both horribly outnumbered and outgeared. Ethyl Alcohol Supplier devised a plan to use iron golems for war against the enemy alliance, since they were already producing hundreds of stacks of iron. However, Megamania quickly disproved this tactic, since iron golems spawned by players will not be able to attack any players. Megamania finally managed to finish his 3rd Infantry Division and 4th Infantry Division. He had started taking the grinding more seriously since he had a lot of pressure on him. While he was doing that, he was also grinding for diamond axes with sharpness 5, and at this point he had already 3 diamond axes. It may not seem like that much, but considering the fact that he needed to buy the diamond axe and the sharpness 5 books with emeralds, and the fact that he needed to spend a while in the mob grinder to regather the XP that he lost when enchanting his axes, it's quite a lot. He planned to distribute it among those in the Feb Alliance who can axe PvP, so that his axes don't go to waste. However, none of his teammates were good at axe PvP, and only 2 people in the Feb Alliance were half decent at 1.9 PvP. For the ethyl alcohol supplier, he continued to brew his potions to catch up the Bijou Line's dozens of stacks of potions. They knew because the other day, Megumina was scouting the capital of the Paracletus clan, looking for anything to their advantage. Taking advantage of his full military access to the Paracletus clan's land, he found a room in the base filled with stacks and stacks of potions, and reported it to his allies. On the 3rd day of the 11th week, the server was turned on for less than 5 minutes. The reason was that the Diamond Rain and Tax Evasion had to move their potions from the Under to the secret Ender Pearl Stasis chamber that they had created. After that was done, the server got turned off immediately. Week 11, Day 4, Megumina couldn't get on around this time, but the SCSL Commonwealth could, and Ethyl Alcohol Supplier too. Ethyl Alcohol Supplier just needed to supply the SCSL Commonwealth, who weren't online that often, with gear for War Week. He didn't put as much effort into making their armor as he did to make his own armor, which had Protection 4, Unbreaking 3, Mending, and Thorns 3. He would just give them normal diamond armor with little to no enchants, and he would just tell them to use their own experience for those enchants that are too expensive for him. Aside from that, the SCSL Commonwealth would just be working on Kitty's land, where a wall was being constructed and the farm was getting expanded. While the Feb Alliance was preparing, the Diamond Rain was collecting gold and crafting himself tons of golden apples, while at the same time brewing a few more barrels of potions and transporting them to their Ender Pearl Stasis chamber. Today on week 11, day 5, the Feb Alliance was doing their usual war preparations. Megumi had created a chamber for his 5th Infantry Division in Firegrad, and he also made another chamber in the Urals for his 6th Infantry Division. So that you don't get confused, here's the map of the Infantry Division's locations. And while the ethyl alcohol supplier was brewing potions and Megumi was visiting him to check on the potions he had made, suddenly they were attacked. Suddenly, Gulag, who was invisible, attacked ethyl alcohol supplier, who was able to fend off for a while. Unlike Megumina, was very ill prepared since it wasn't War Week yet and they are already getting attacked. He still had his decoy armor on, and he didn't have his war prepared armor and weapons on him. Gulag, who had basically maxed out gear, managed to destroy Megumina, and after ethyl alcohol supplier held up for a while, he also managed to lose against Gulag. After they both died, Megumina geared up with his war-prepared armor and headed back down to reinforce the fight against Gulag. But Gulag had already left. Megumina quickly stashed his war-prepared armor back into his ender chest and re-equipped his decoy armor to continue the delusion that he was the weakest dude in his team. It turned out that the Phoenix Empire had ordered a hit on them since they were making jokes about it. The Phoenix Empire was forgiven. However, the attack increased tensions between both sides. War was inevitable, and they knew this. So they started preparing more. Megumina had started breeding the dogs in his 5th and 6th Infantry Division. The Phoenix Empire was also preparing golden apples and gear for War Week, since he had already finished his house in Suntopia. He was now ready for War Week. The ethyl alcohol supplier was blinded with rage. He wanted revenge on Gulag for killing him and Megumina, and when the Paracletus clan joined to prepare for war, ethyl alcohol supplier wanted to kill him. While the Paracletus clan was cutting down trees a little to the north of his base, he was greeted by ethyl alcohol supplier who was enraged. He launched a strike from the northeast, attacking Paracletus clan without giving him a warning. The Paracletus clan tried to fight back, but he was not prepared for the fight. He tried to run away and retreat to his base, and on the way he was telling his allies that he was getting attacked by ethyl alcohol supplier. When he got to the front of his doors, he immediately left the game in combat log, but it was justified since there was no declaration of war. However, the Diamond Rain quickly joined in to aid the Paracletus clan from the south. The ethyl alcohol supplier started aggressively pushing the Diamond Rain back, who was quite undergeared and unprepared. The ethyl alcohol supplier was slowly pushing the Diamond Rain back to the Gulag wall, where the Diamond Rain made a final stand. The fight continued on for a while until the Diamond Rain managed to drain ethyl alcohol supplier's fighting strength and force him into retreating. However, it was too late. The Diamond Rain had him stuck in a combo. Ethyl alcohol supplier had just died, and the Diamond Rain emerged victorious in the Battle of the Under. There was 30 minutes on the clock until the Great War happens. Each side was preparing. The first of the Feb Alliance to join was Megumenia and the Phoenix Empire. And for the Bijou Alliance, it was Gulag and the Diamond Rain that joined first. Megumenia started the War Day preparation off by breeding his dogs in the 6th Infantry Division. He managed to get it to about 25 dogs until he decided to go meet with the Phoenix Empire on Firegrad to prepare their gear. Megumenia had his overpowered gear that he had set up for Scorched Earth, his maxed out netherite sword, his milk buckets, one of his mass-produced sharpness 5 diamond axes, his totem, 16 golden apples, and the potions that the ethyl alcohol supplier had given to him. Megumenia also had 2 of his infantry divisions accompanying him, specifically the 2nd and the 3rd Infantry Division. And for the Phoenix Empire, he had his maxed out netherite sword, his maxed out diamond gear, the sharpness 5 diamond axe that Megumenia had given him, his totem, his stack of golden apples, experience bottles, the potions that the ethyl alcohol supplier gave him, and his multi-shot crossbow with his few stacks of full power rockets. They were now prepared for war. For the Bijou Alliance, Gulag had the potions that the Diamond Rain had brewed for him, his totems, his maxed out netherite sword, his diamond armor with all enchants except Thorns 3, ender pearls, cobwebs, his ranged weapons, and the golden apples that he had grinded. He didn't have as much tricks up his sleeve since he was already very skillful in 1.9 combat. The Diamond Rain prepared his ender pearl stasis chamber inside the Gulag wall area. He had his totems, his potions, his not so maxed out sword, his diamond armor with all enchants except for Thorns 3, ender pearls, cobwebs, and the biggest trick he had it up his sleeve, TNT minecarts. Gulag felt prepared and ready, while the Diamond Rain was unprepared, scared, but still confident because he had Gulag in his alliance. They were planning a full attack on the capital of the ethyl alcohol supplier, the World Trade Center. The SCSL Commonwealth joined after a while. Instead of both members contributing to the fight, the Seaside Cat Surgeons retreated to Kitty's Land to run away from all the war and remain neutral. However, Lauderland joined on the side of the Feb Alliance. Lauderland was still ill-prepared, barely having much enchants on his armor and barely any enchants on his weapon. However, the Feb Alliance would take any allies they would get. While Lauderland did some last-minute preparations, Megumenia set up a genius plan. He made a chamber in the wall northwest to the Matchstick House and told the Phoenix Empire his plan. His plan was for the Phoenix Empire to stall the Bijou Alliance and lure one of them into the chamber. Meanwhile, Megumenia would be hiding, waiting for them to go in. And once their victim goes into the chamber, the Phoenix Empire would seal up the entrance right behind him. In the Phoenix Empire, Megumenia and his 2 infantry divisions would flood the victim and prevent him from breaking any blocks, and they would be able to kill him there. The plan was very simple, yet genius. This plan could probably turn the tide and destroy the Bijou Alliance. The Feb Alliance had also received intel from the ethyl alcohol supplier that he would be joining a little later, which is not good because they needed to get as much allies as prepared as possible for any attack. The time slowly ticked, and the 30 minutes is now over. The Feb Alliance and the Bijou Alliance are both fully prepared. The village bells start ringing and all the villagers start hiding in their homes, knowing what's to come. The time of peace is now over. It was now total war. The Phoenix Empire stood on the World Trade Center, waiting for the attack, while Meguminia sat patiently inside the chamber waiting for the Phoenix Empire to lead one of them into the area. Then, suddenly, a pearl dropped from the west side of the World Trade Center. The battle had begun. The Phoenix Empire was only fighting Gulag. The Phoenix Empire was using his rockets, but it didn't deal enough damage to Gulag. He would be continuously pushed back by Gulag, but he would manage to stand against Gulag by continuously running around and occasionally shoot rockets back at him to try and take on him. However, he couldn't make Gulag retreat. Gulag was way too aggressive and wouldn't stop for more than 5 seconds to pot up and gap up. The Phoenix Empire would continue to run around, trying to get into the chamber, but every time he tried, his attempt would fail miserably. He was getting tossed around, unable to execute Meguminia's plan. Meguminia sat there waiting patiently, constantly giving morale to the Phoenix Empire, who couldn't force Gulag to retreat. All of a sudden, the Diamond Rain joined the battle. He came in from the South World Trade Center, crossing the bridge that connected the Mob Grinder to the World Trade Center. The Phoenix Empire was outnumbered. However, Meguminia sat in his chamber, knowing that it would be a stupid idea to abandon the strategy and reveal his infantry divisions, which he had been trying to hide all along. The Diamond Rain was helping Gulag push back the Phoenix Empire using his own TNT minecarts for this. The Phoenix Empire couldn't hold on for any longer. His armor was already fading away and his golden apples were getting depleted. The Diamond Rain retreated, but Gulag saw the Phoenix Empire's weakness and tried to convince him to turn on his own teammates. However, the Phoenix Empire quickly refused and started attacking Gulag again. Then, the fight continued. The Diamond Rain quickly rejoined the fight and started attacking the Phoenix Empire again. And then, both Gulag and the Diamond Rain combined forces to push the Phoenix Empire back to the west of the World Trade Center until he had collapsed and died. One of his lives are now gone. The Bijou Alliance generously put the Phoenix Empire's drop stuff in a chest where he died, looting his grave and taking some of his stuff for themselves. However, the ethyl alcohol supplier had just joined in the battle. The Phoenix Empire quickly retrieved his remaining stuff from where he died, and the battle of the World Trade Center continued. Meguminia quickly informed the ethyl alcohol supplier of his plan to trap one of the enemies in the chamber and destroy them, and he got the idea. The Diamond Rain was nowhere to be seen, but Gulag was there, bloodthirsty. The combined forces of both ethyl alcohol supplier and the Phoenix Empire managed to push Gulag west of the World Trade Center, and managed to make him low enough to retreat so that he can refuel. Meguminia convinced both the Phoenix Empire and the ethyl alcohol supplier to retreat to the chamber and ambush Gulag there, since Meguminia had full gear and his 2nd and 3rd Infantry Divisions were waiting ready for action. When both the ethyl alcohol supplier and the Phoenix Empire went into the chamber, Gulag blindly followed them. Meguminia had seen this and his plan was finally put into place. However, there was a problem. See, when you enter the chamber, there are 2 areas that you can enter. The area straight ahead was the area that they were supposed to enter because it's almost impossible to escape from there with the 100 dogs and 3 players trying to crit you out. But the other area to the left was a random cave. It was really just another tiny chamber, but it would be easily escapable since there's literally a cave down below it and an open area all the way up that leads to the surface. The ethyl alcohol supplier, who was only given an order to enter the chamber, went into the wrong chamber and led the Gulag to the chamber that he could easily escape from by breaking the block under him. The original plan was to block off the 4-layer entrance to the chamber so that the victim can't escape, but since ethyl alcohol supplier led him to the wrong chamber, there is only one layer he could cover. After covering the entrance layer, Gulag was ambushed. The ethyl alcohol supplier, the Phoenix Empire, Meguminia, and the 2nd and 3rd Infantry Divisions were destroying Gulag. Although the 2nd and 3rd Infantry Divisions didn't deal much damage to Gulag, it did tear his armor to shreds. They had Gulag encircled. Gulag was even struggling to crit them. The Febalians caught a glimpse of victory. Gulag felt the walls closing in on him. He had never expected anything like this. 3 of his enemies, with maxed out swords, critting him out, while he can't do anything to fight them since about 25 dogs were attacking him. It seems like if he kills one dog, another dog appears. Although 2 infantry divisions combined make the total number of more than 100 dogs, they were inside the wrong chamber. That's why majority of the dogs couldn't fit into this chamber that they went into. So, whenever one dog dies, it just gets reinforced by another one, since they finally have space. It was over for Gulag. Gulag's armor was almost gone, and his health was deteriorating faster than he was regenerating. However, he managed to make a last-second escape. See, in that different chamber, there was a way to get out of that hole through the top. All he had to do was pearl there, just run away. And he had tons of pearls, so he pearled out of the chamber and managed to make a retreat out of the ambush. The Febalians didn't manage to destroy Gulag as planned, as ethyl alcohol supplier led Gulag into the wrong chamber. Although Meguminia was still extremely angry that they couldn't kill Gulag, their morale increased as they once again fully occupied the World Trade Center. Meanwhile, the enemy was demoralized, and Gulag had become more fearful of the Febalians, having only narrowly escaped death. The flag of the ethyl alcohol supplier remains in the World Trade Center. Once again, the Febalians was prepared for another attack from the Bijou Alliance. This time, he didn't use the same strategy since Meguminia knew that repeating the same strategy would be a stupid idea, especially since Gulag isn't stupid enough to fall for the same thing twice. So, he decided to help his allies in the defense of the World Trade Center. The 2nd and 3rd Infantry Divisions only suffered around 15 to 20 casualties, which meant that they were still fit and ready for combat. Lauderland, who was ill-prepared but still ready for combat, came in from Firegrad to reinforce the World Trade Center. However, the ethyl alcohol supplier had different plans. Ethyl alcohol supplier took Lauderland with him as a companion to go attack the Under through the Dark Oak Fields. Ethyl alcohol supplier equipped themselves with stacks of TNT from the gunpowder that they got from the mob grinder and from the sand that he got from excavation. The Phoenix Empire stayed behind the World Trade Center to repair his armor and resupply, while Meguminia offered to stay in the World Trade Center for defense, protecting the Phoenix Empire while he was resupplying and repairing his gear. The ethyl alcohol supplier and Lauderland made their way to the Under. They went through the destroyed state of Gyeonggi and through the Dark Oak Fields. However, midway through their crossing, Gulag came from the south of the Dark Oak Fields. Gulag had already fully resupplied and refueled. He was ready for battle again. Both the ethyl alcohol supplier and Lauderland were surprised by the sudden attack from Gulag. Gulag targeted specifically Lauderland, who was ill-prepared and ill-trained. Lauderland immediately died since he barely had any protection in his armor. Meanwhile, the ethyl alcohol supplier was trying to deal damage to Gulag instead of fully retreating. Although he did do damage, once Gulag diverted his attention towards the ethyl alcohol supplier, he immediately died. The ambush of the Dark Oak Fields was devastating for Lauderland, and he had lost his only diamond armor set and his only set of diamond tools. Meanwhile, although the ethyl alcohol supplier was devastated because of this, he still had an extra set of armor and more backup gear. Meguminia heard this news and stayed alert for an attack from the Bijou Alliance. Ethyl alcohol supplier respawned inside the World Trade Center's Maxtech house and started using the last of his reserve armor and reserve gear. Suddenly, the Diamond Rain and Gulag launched an attack from the west. He had just ambushed them by spraying invisibility potions at everyone, including majority of the dogs in the infantry divisions. Although the Febalians had buckets of milk, they couldn't drink it in time since Gulag and the Diamond Rain had begun to attack them already. Everyone was confused since literally everyone had invisibility and they all had similar gear. The Febalians was left confused. However, after a while of all the invisible people hitting each other randomly, the Febalians managed to identify each other and started targeting the proper enemies. The ethyl alcohol supplier and Megumina were focusing their attacks on the Diamond Rain, while the Phoenix Empire focused on fighting Gulag, while Gulag chased after the ethyl alcohol supplier. While the Diamond Rain was being pushed back, he was trying to use his TNT on minecarts but to no avail. The invisible dogs of the 2nd and 3rd Infantry Divisions were preventing him from placing any TNT minecarts to combat the enemy. At this point, he was almost dead. His health was almost zero. He was now running from the enemy. However, Gulag started attacking Megumina and he managed to get his health low enough and launch him off the hill, further removing more of his health. Megumina retreated from the battle to the northeast, heading back towards Firegrad. The Diamond Rain also retreated later when the ethyl alcohol supplier was healing up, heading southeast to regenerate and repair his badly damaged armor. And then, Gulag managed to kill the ethyl alcohol supplier, leaving him with only one life left. While all that was happening, the Phoenix Empire was still attacking Gulag, attempting to kill him and keep the World Trade Center under the control of the Febalians. However, to no avail. Gulag was able to stand up against him and launch himself a counteroffensive. The counteroffensive was then later helped by the Diamond Rain, who was finished repairing his gear and regenerating. He reinforced the front line. Now, Megumina and his 2nd and 3rd Infantry Division started making their way to the Febalians' front line, but it was too late. The Phoenix Empire had fallen before Megumina could even reach the railroad. The second battle of the World Trade Center resulted in the defeat of the Febalians. Megumina, who was in Firegrad, knew that now that the Bijou Alliance had captured the World Trade Center, Firegrad was next. Megumina and his 2nd and 3rd Infantry Division started retreating to the Urals, since he knew he couldn't win against both Gulag and the Diamond Rain alone. He also needed to reinforce his infantry divisions by using his unfinished 6th Infantry Division. Once he reached the Urals, he immediately disbanded the 6th Infantry Division and merged them as a part of the 2nd and 3rd Infantry Divisions. The Phoenix Empire was at his last life, and he has now lost his only set of diamond armor. Now, the only armor he had was iron armor, but he still had Helios' will, which was his maxed out netherite sword. He was redeployed at the World Trade Center, but after going to the World Trade Center mob grinder, he was immediately killed by Gulag, ending his last life. He had now surrendered to the Bijou Alliance. The Phoenix Empire was now forced to accept the enemy terms and became a semi-puppet neutral state of Gulag in the Treaty of Suntopia. He would also cede the southern outskirts to the Paracletus clan. But before he did this, he secretly gave Megumina Helios' will. He hid it in a chest in the World Trade Center and told Megumina specifically which chest it was in. Lotterland started reinforcing Firegrad with plain diamond gear and immediately died to the Diamond Rain, who easily defeated him. After killing him once more, he had fully surrendered, joining the Treaty of Suntopia. Instead of being a puppet state of the enemy, he was instead forced to get annexed by the Seaside Cat Surgeons, who although was part of the Feb Alliance, remained neutral the entire time. The last remaining members of the Feb Alliance alive was Ethel Alcohol Supplier, who had one more life left, and Megumina, who has never died yet. The ethyl alcohol supplier had just taken back his gear and resupplied. Megumina and the ethyl alcohol supplier had agreed to meet at the South Ural Plains to launch an attack on the enemy base and destroy their supplies and anything else that they could, since there was nothing left anymore in Firegrad and the World Trade Center. Once they met in the South Ural Plains, ethyl alcohol supplier told him his plans to blow up the Paracletus clan's capital, the Under, to destroy their supplies. However, Megumi insisted they instead strike at the Gulag Wall since it probably had the most valuable gear to the enemy team. The ethyl alcohol supplier Megumi and his 2nd and 3rd Infantry Division started pushing south to the Gulag Wall, while the Bijou Alliance searched for the Feb Alliance members in their territories. After reaching the Gulag Wall, they had just discovered an obsidian bunker with enchanted diamond gear inside it. It was exactly what they wanted to see. The ethyl alcohol supplier and Megumi started planting bombs all over the obsidian bunker, and once they blew it up, they were surprised to see that it wasn't just the obsidian bunker. The Feb Alliance had just discovered the Ender Stasis chambers right below the obsidian bunker. The amount of resources that they had just destroyed was insane. They had dealt a gigantic blow to the supplies of the enemy Bijou Alliance. The Feb Alliance received a sudden morale boost. Knowing that their job was already done here, the ethyl alcohol supplier Megumi and his 2nd and 3rd Infantry Divisions made their way back home to retake the World Trade Center and Firegrad. As they made their way to the World Trade Center, they had just met the Diamond Rain, who was on his way back to the Gulag Wall to resupply. Although the Diamond Rain was undefeatable when around Gulag, Gulag was at far north, looking for the Feb Alliance members. Megumi and the 2nd Infantry Division started attacking the Diamond Rain, who was struggling to use his TNT and minecart fighting tactics since the dogs were chasing him and shredding his armor and pushing him back. The ethyl alcohol supplier started critting the Diamond Rain from the west side, while Megumi was attacking from the very south, pushing the Diamond Rain towards the World Trade Center. The Diamond Rain also had no more potions or any more tricks above his sleeves since he was supposed to go back to the Gulag Wall to resupply and use his potion tactics. The Feb Alliance continued to crit spam and push the Diamond Rain, while the Diamond Rain tried his best to place down his TNT on minecarts, but to no avail. The infantry divisions kept blocking him. Megumi continued to push him back without stopping. His dogs continued to shred through his armor until his armor was now too low for battle. The Diamond Rain was now going to a full retreat, however it was too late already. He had just popped his totem, which meant that he had just lost one more life. This was the first death that the Bijou Alliance had. Narrowly escaping death, the Diamond Rain managed to escape and retreat with his Ender Pearls on one heart. The Diamond Rain immediately started healing up and was now heading back to resupply at the Gulag Wall. The Feb Alliance got another morale boost. They had finally started to make major damage to the enemy. The Feb Alliance celebrated this victory, for it was their first step to achieving total victory. While the Feb Alliance celebrated, the Diamond Rain returned to the ruins of his Ender Pearl Stasis chamber and his last remaining gear. Now he was fully convinced that it was over for him and his alliance, and what waited for them was defeat. The morale-boosted Feb Alliance made their way over to the World Trade Center to retake it. Gulag started making his way back down from Firegrad to the World Trade Center to defend it from the Feb Alliance after hearing the Diamond Rain's message that the last of the Feb Alliance was heading back towards the World Trade Center. This was going to be the final battle of the World Trade Center. Gulag defended from the north while the ethyl alcohol supplier and his 2nd and 3rd Infantry Division advanced from the South World Trade Center, crossing the bridge. Gulag waited for them on the other side, and then ethyl alcohol supplier immediately spotted Gulag and started attacking. And while ethyl alcohol supplier attacked Gulag, Megumi had just found Helios' will in one of the chests in the World Trade Center. Now Megumi was ready for battle. He immediately joined ethyl alcohol supplier in their fight against Gulag. Now was 100 dogs trying to attack Gulag at the same time, restricting his movements. Gulag shifted from fighting the ethyl alcohol supplier to attacking the 2nd and 3rd Infantry Divisions, which gave the ethyl alcohol supplier and Megumi a chance to continuously push back Gulag, who was struggling to destroy the Meguminian horde. Gulag was getting pushed back, but he was holding out against them. The ethyl alcohol supplier and Megumi continued to push Gulag to the west of the World Trade Center, while Gulag was too busy attacking and destroying the 2nd and 3rd Infantry Divisions. And now, Gulag's armor was getting ripped to shreds. However, Megumini's horde was now weakened. His dog count went from more than 100 to a mere 30 dogs. 2nd and 3rd Infantry Divisions wouldn't be able to hold off Gulag any longer. After reducing the infantry division to less than 10 dogs, Gulag was now free. He could now attack human targets, and his human target was the ethyl alcohol supplier. Now, Gulag was the one pushing the ethyl alcohol supplier back, while Megumin tried to support the ethyl alcohol supplier by attacking Gulag from his side. Now, the ethyl alcohol supplier was getting pushed back towards the east by Gulag, and he needed to heal up because he was getting low. Megumin tried to chase after Gulag and make Gulag attack him, but Gulag was laser focused on destroying the ethyl alcohol supplier. Ethyl alcohol supplier was now getting dangerously low and he had to regenerate. Megumin tried to get in front of Gulag one more time to distract him while the ethyl alcohol supplier regenerates, but it was too late. Gulag had now managed to kill the ethyl alcohol supplier and end his last life. Megumin was now left alone with the last of his 2nd Infantry Division, which now only contained 5 dogs. Megumin continued to fight off Gulag, who was now managing to combo him. However, Gulag was already low on resources. He continued to fight, but it seemed like his armor was close to disappearing. Even though he was landing more hits to Megumin in 1-to-1 combat, the effects of the infantry division and him getting critted out by both Megumin and the ethyl alcohol supplier were way too massive. He needed to retreat out of battle. Gulag immediately purled out of battle into the dark oak fields, making his way back to the Gulag wall to resupply and repair his armor, which was now close to disappearing. Megumin emerged victorious in the final battle of the World Trade Center. Megumin then made his way to Firegrad to liberate his country and set his capital to Firegrad once again. He had just liberated the World Trade Center, but the ethyl alcohol supplier was out of the war. There was no way to get him back to the war. Megumin was now alone. Although he still had 3 lives and 2 more infantry divisions for fighting, he was horribly outnumbered. If he manages to kill Gulag once, then Gulag wouldn't be able to resupply anymore because all of their supply is gone. All he had to do was find him and kill him 2 more times, and Gulag would be out of the war. But after that, he still had to fight Taxivation, who had full-geared an infantry division of his own. And if he manages to kill Taxivation, he still has to kill the Pericletus clan. Then farmers. He knew he couldn't win a war against the enemy. Although he wanted to keep going and continue the war, the Phoenix Empire and the ethyl alcohol supplier convinced him that it was a losing battle he was fighting. There was no way to win. Megumin didn't want to continue living a coward, but there wasn't any hope of winning. Megumin decided to surrender and sue for peace to minimize losses. Megumin decided to sign the Treaty of the World Trade Center, which was the treaty that ended the war. Megumin agreed to the terms that the enemy gave to him. He could stay a sovereign state, but he had to cede the East Valley to the new Gulag puppet state of the Phoenix Empire. The ethyl alcohol supplier would also remain a sovereign state, but he had to give the West World Trade Center to the Pericletus clan. Added to that, he also had to pay for war reparations for both the Diamond Rain and Gulag using his mob grinder. The war was now over. The Feb Alliance entered this war knowing that they would lose, but they still tried their hardest to win the war, and at the end, they were down 3 people. The last 2 Feb Alliance members that remained were the ethyl alcohol supplier and the Communist Republic of Megumin. For the enemy, total victory wasn't achieved, but they still won the war against the Feb Alliance, and it was enough for them already. The Communist Republic of Megumin and the ethyl alcohol supplier were devastated. But will they take revenge on the enemy? Or will they leave the past as it was? Now, Heart of Diamonds isn't just a random Minecraft server me and my friends made. It holds a special place in my heart. It wasn't just an ordinary private Minecraft server that my friends and I made and forgot about the next day like the 50 other Minecraft servers that I made. We all met new friends here, and we all got closer to each other. Then, the drama. don't even get me started on the drama. The drama wasn't really that related to Hearts of Diamonds whatsoever, but it was the friends that was united by HOD that was involved. I won't talk about the drama because of privacy reasons, and because if I did, we would be sitting here all day. But let's just say that the Feb Alliance and the Bijou Alliance had each a drama of their own. I would like to thank each member of the Hearts of Diamonds server. It was fun playing Hearts of Diamonds with you guys. Don't worry though, there will be another Hearts of Diamonds. It is not over yet.